Welcome to my channel. Let's take a look at these HEDD Two headphones. Let's go! HEDD sent me these headphones from Berlin, Germany to test and review, but the opinions are mine alone. They are over-the-ear, open-back headphones. They are a new version of the original headphones, HEDD phones, and they have done a remarkable job of updating a lot of the things that I didn't care so much about with the old ones. I'll leave a link below to the other video where I'm talking about the original headphones. As far as specs are concerned, they have trimmed the weight significantly from the original headphones, and now they're basically 550 grams about there. The other ones were over 700 grams if I remember correctly. So quite a significant change in weight, and it's noticeable. Now see this headband here. They have completely redesigned this, and I'll show you exactly what they've done a little bit, but it made a remarkable difference to comfort. The shape is different, and they have this faux leather ear pads here, they call it, with heat cushion, and I do agree they don't get very hot for long periods of listening time, so very nice. Now they have an impedance of 41, they call it 41 ohm flat. Not sure what flat I mean. I guess it's flat throughout the frequency. They didn't specify that. And one of the things about the 41 ohm is it's actually not that low, and so it should be relatively easy to drive, but we'll get into the amplifier that drives this later in the video. They send a multitude of connections with the cord, and they all seem pretty high quality, from 1/4 inch to pseudo balance to 1/8 inch. The original heads, kind of when you touch them, they would crinkle quite loudly in your ear. They have reduced that quite a bit on these two, which is nice. On the connection point, they have these 1/8 inch connectors, which is okay on each ear. Pretty standard for a lot of headphones. I do have to point out one thing about the specs is they rated at 89 dB SPL at 1 milliwatt, which is below average for sure. Most headphones are in the upper 90s. Most high-end headphones maybe drops into the lower 90s. I've provided a link below if you're considering buying the HEDD Twos. It's at no cost to you, but it'll help my channel make more videos like this. Well, the HEDD Twos are a very interesting pair of headphones. A little enigmatic in the beginning because they took some time to break in, and they changed sound quality quite a bit over that first week or so. But once they were broken in, they rewarded me with very high quality sound. However, I gotta say that they're very picky about the amplification that drives them. So once I started using the benchmark HPA4, or I briefly tried them with a Chord Alto, they were great and magnificent sounding actually. They do have some highlights I want to point out. Once you take that frequency response in consideration, and I haven't heard any headphones that are really flat, so all headphones have their quirky frequency response and they're not linear, but I did try and EQ them and they sounded fantastic once I did that. They're very, very linear from about 50 hertz up to maybe 1500 or something like that. There was nothing there that bothered me and stuck out as being weird. They kind of roll off in the lower bass below 40. A lot of headphones do that, so that's not unusual. And If you're looking for that smiley face frequency response, these are not it. They're definitely high-end. They do have a dip in the mid-range. Around 2K they start dropping off, and at 4K they start rising again with a slight spike in there. And then they keep rising up until about 13, 14K, where there's a peak, and then they start tapering off again. So with that in mind, they sound a little bit warm without EQ, and cymbals sound a little bit thin because the body of the cymbal and the rising frequency makes the cymbal a little bit thin sounding, for example. But it's very easy to EQ away, and they sounded great once they were slightly EQ'd, like I'm showing you here. There's something special about these headphones when it comes to small acoustic ensembles. I listened to some jazz, and the saxophone and the trumpet sounded fantastic on these. There was a lot of intimacy about it, and I've never heard that before from a pair of headphones, but it was very endearing. And you know, the resonance of the instrument, the microphone placement was clear, and the breathiness of the player was very natural and musical. There's also something very nice about how there's a little front to back perspective, even though it's still, with all headphones, it's in your head, but you can clearly hear if there's a slight drawback to the snare by reverb and compression. You know, it sounds behind, or if it's up front, very clear. So I think that's great. As far as the stereo perspective is concerned, I think that they are not as wide as I've heard, and Technicolor-ish, if you want to call it that. But there's good separation between left and right, and things in the middle sound in the middle very clearly, but they're not as wide as I've heard. So that's something to consider. However, the detail is very, very good in these. In other words, you can clearly hear mic positioning and compression, and overall, I think they are good value for the money. They punch above their weight class for sure, but they are different from other headphones in the sense that they just present certain things in a different way, especially if you're used to dynamic driver headphones. It's just a different sound and a different presentation, and it's a very there kind of sound. It's present compared to dynamic drivers. Compared to, let's say I have a couple of Odyssey headphones here, and it's more in line with planar dynamic headphones to me. But even planar dynamics sound a little different. They have a different bass response, and here the mid-range detail is very highly focused on these heads. Just make sure you have enough power to drive these properly. That's very important, because they're a little heavy to drive. They'll reward you with a very high-end sound. If you can deal with the weight and the low efficiency and have a proper amplifier driving these headphones, definitely put these headphones on your short list of headphones to check out. Highly recommend it. As far as the adjustment here is concerned, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but there's these little straps here that you snap off, and then there's another strap underneath like this. So the lower one is basically for the tension on your ear, or the clamp force, some people call it, meaning how much they clamp in on your ear. And the upper one is for the adjustment for the height, so they sit right over the ear. If you notice this, you set them here, by setting there's these little holes here and a little tab that you got to snap onto here like this, and then you snap on the upper band here like this, and then you forget it. Now my first impression was that's a little flimsy with these straps, but rest assured nothing shifted or did anything. There was no problems with it whatsoever, and they do have a 5-year warranty, which is impressive for these headphones. As you can see in the unboxing video, one of these stickers came off, but it never, I just put it back on and never came off. So here's what they look like. So when you can set the clamp force like that, it basically just, you can set it so tight it doesn't move, or you can set it very loose if that's what you want. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment below. And until next time, take care.